Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we're going to be talking a bit about big money, spending money to screw over those who are seeking to end the tyranny of big money. But before we jump into the video, I do want to go ahead and remind you I've got two ways to donate to the channel. I have a Patreon account, which is a monthly, month-to-month donation system. I have a Coffee account, which you can do much the same, but it also allows you to make single one-time donations if you are so inclined. I will have both links in the description box below the video. Do not donate if you are financially struggling, or donating will cause you to be financially struggling. I'd rather you take care of what you need to take care of. It's hard enough right now with just these fucking morons in charge. If you can afford it and you want to donate, thank you. I do appreciate it. It's me, myself, and I who make the videos. I do all the filming, editing, posting, everything. But yeah, I don't take money from commercials. It's a personal choice. I don't want to seem bought out by any one company or anything. And I'm not getting paid by any of the social network sites as of yet. So, with that said, let's go ahead and jump into the video here. As you can see, I've got a story up here from WBUR. This was from June the 2nd. Despite the latest scandal, Graham Plattner is poised to win the Senate primary. And it's pretty easy to see why, because what he talks about is the facts of life for people, day to day, trying to survive. They're trying to make him persona non grata over a sexual texting issue when he was younger. They were consensual texts between a grown man and grown women. His wife knows about them. She's aware of them. At that point, nobody should be worried whatsoever. It's not like he was Donald Trump, who did certain things to girls of a certain underage. But, that's just how things are for some reason. So when I hear Republicans talk, oh, he's guilty of this, shut the fuck up. If you approve of Trump and the fact that he's in the Epstein files listed more times than Jesus is in the Bible, if you're okay with that, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, this supposed scandal is bullshit. And I've got other sites listing it. And, the voters for Maine, they are pretty much agreeing. Look, we prefer Plattner. Because what he's talking about is what is bothering us. From Jacobin, the attacks on Plattner are politically motivated. Uh, it's a national spectacle. All of the things listed seem to be true. Plattner's campaign for U.S. Senate represents a unique threat to elite power, and therefore the elite and its media machine are subjecting him to the kind of scrutiny they do not subject themselves or their political puppets to in an effort to get him to drop out or lose. Some of the accusations being hurled at Plattner are uncorroborated and come from politically motivated sources. That's why anything that's fucking Republican based that tries to write stories about him, I'm like, fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Yeah. And others are simply political motivations, are trying to amplify the accusations, not because they are genuinely morally outraged, but because they have political and ideological goals. The same political and media class that ignored and buried the Epstein scandal is now pretending to be genuinely mad about the substance of the Plattner allegations, revelations, and their pretend outrage is pretty fucking ridiculous and inauthentic. Some of the corroborated revelations and uncorroborated allegations about Plattner are serious and should be taken seriously and should be weighed against his explanations, contrition, and denials. Voters being exposed to new revelations, accusations, can have legitimate concerns about them and about Plattner, and having those concerns does not make the voters corrupt or dupes. Elections are leaps of faith, especially nowadays. There's so many corrupt fucks, and it's Plattner's made clear he stands behind what he says. We don't know what people will do once in office. We do know that those who control the political system do not like letting anyone near power who didn't come up through the traditional political ladder. Plattner volunteered to risk his life for his country in combat multiple times. He then volunteered to run for Senate when no other major challenger was willing to step up and give Maine voters a serious choice in a competitive primary. These decisions reflect a form of character and courage. This, who is given grace and who is ostracized from politics, remains selective. America extended grace to John McCain and allowed him into politics despite his colorful life as a young aviator and his romantic relationships after coming home from combat. But the Senate threw out Al Franken, also extended to Brett Kavanaugh, and confirmed him despite allegations of sexual assault. Voters extended grace to Donald Trump for all of his horrors and elected him president. The fiery debate over whether voters should extend grace to Plattner, a combat veteran, or ostracize him, proves that we still lack a collective set of mores about forgiveness. And as I pointed out, if you're a Republican and you voted for Trump and you still back him, fuck you. I don't want to hear what you have to say about Plattner. You can go fuck off. The whole debate over whether Plattner is sufficiently working class and the portrayal of the candidate as a privileged, lazy, loafing rich kid because his mom owns a local restaurant and his dad is a lawyer has somehow ignored that Plattner enlisted in the military for multiple combat tours for his country. That kind of job seems pretty not privileged and fairly working class. Yeah, because it is. It fucking is. All of these things are true, and there's one more thing that's true. Saying these things does not make Plattner a shill, a misogynist, etc. People hurling those insults and insinuations aren't operating in good faith and are trying to halt any conversation and shut down the democratic discourse, likely because they are politically motivated, usually the wealthy, and we know even groups heavily tied to APAC and the such. But before we get into that, yeah, this is 270 to win.com. Plattner, clearly the favorite choice for the primary nominee, and the Democratic Party, clearly the more favored choice over the Republicans, according to that. So yeah, Plattner beating Collins in every one of the polls they have listed here, and beating her pretty soundly. There's a close one on message poll, 44 to 42. And the next closest will probably be the Pan Atlantic Research, 44 to 40. And yeah, that's, other than that, it just opens wider. Here we've got realclearpolling.com, one of the better polling websites. You look at Collins versus Plattner race, which is likely what it's going to be. Plattner has an average of five or better just in the polls listed. And in the average, he's got a 7.4 advantage. There's how they do the averages. Here's more of the polls. Yeah. 2020 against Gideon, she dominated. 2014 against Bellows, she dominated. But against Plattner, he's winning. And that's why I'm like, look, more than likely, Plattner's going to win this. And yeah, he don't suck up to the rich and wealthy, unlike certain others who proclaimed they were that way and then turned over to suck off the wealthy from the back. You know, your Christian cinemas, your John Fetterman's. And like I was mentioning, APAC and the wealthy have a huge part in this. From Sludge, the dark money network attacking Graham Plattner. Two shadowy Delaware nonprofits have pumped $750,000 into attack ads against Plattner, One faces a federal straw donor complaint, and both are part of a sprawling dark money network with ties to AIPAC, Kristi Noem, and a Hakeem Jeffries aligned super PAC. Yeah, big money. And AIPAC. So, yeah. They're coming after Plattner like they did after Cori Bush, who spoke out against AIPAC. And what they did is they pumped money through another group into her race, forcing her out of Congress. She's running to try to get her seat back. Hopefully, she wins, because I always thought she was a damn good senator, or not senator, but representative. And if the people of that district recognize the facts, hopefully they'll vote her back in. But yeah, as I've been saying, the wealthy, the powerful, the elites, the 1% get richer under Trump, ordinary Americans pay. This is from projectcensor.org. 3 reports on global wealth released in 2025 demonstrated a growing divide between the rich and working class, with American billionaire profits soaring. In 2025, articles in Common Dreams, Jake Johnson cited Oxfam International and the Institute for Policy Studies, which found that over the past decade, the richest 1% globally have seen their wealth surge by more than $33.9 trillion. And a report by Swiss bank UBS validated this trend, according to The Economist at Michael Roberts' blog. Oxfam data showed that under Trump policies in 2025, the 10 wealthiest U.S. billionaires have gained about $700 billion total, according to November 2025 articles in The Guardian, The Independent, and The New Republic. Yeah. The rich keep getting richer. We know Musk is sitting on that verge of becoming a trillionaire. Not a billionaire, not a millionaire, a trillionaire. No one on this goddamn planet, in this fucking solar system, in this galaxy, in this star cluster, should be a fucking trillionaire, while people struggle. Hell, they shouldn't even be fucking billionaires. Every fucking penny over $999,999,999.99 should be taxed the fuck out of existence and given to policies to help the people. But we know fuckers like Mr. Musk with his Doge department, which was in and itself questionably legal, hates anything that helps the people because he's a shithead. The U.S. is minting more millionaires than ever. The U.S. minted 736,000 new millionaires last year, bringing the total number of Americans with such wealth to a record 8.7 million, according to a new report. And the money's usually in investable assets, including individual primary residences, collectibles, consumables, and consumer durable goods. Consulting firm Capgemini said of its World Wealth Report in 2026. But yeah, investable assets. Think of investment companies, companies that buy land, that buy homes. I'm sure it's in other things, but yeah, again, part of the fucking problem. Companies like fucking BlackRock, Blackstone, I don't give a shit what kind of black igneous bullshit it's supposed to be. You shouldn't be making money off people just trying to have somewhere to live. You shouldn't. That's not the way life should be. Fuckers like you shouldn't exist if that's what you want to do to fuck over others. The jump in the number of millionaires also underscores a widening divide in the U.S. between low and high incomes, as many Americans struggle to afford the cost of living. Household earnings below $50,000 a year are increasingly gloomy, while those with incomes above $100,000 are showing greater confidence, according to Apollo chief economist Torsten Slock. The divergence is likely driven by lower income households worrying about rising gas prices, while higher households are focusing on rising stock prices. Go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Of course, there are worries over rising gas prices. Because when you have less money to fucking spend, when the things you need become more and more expensive and you can afford it less and less, you get worried about that kind of shit, you shitbag fuck stone son of a bitch. Oh, it seems to be driven by gas prices and stock. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Yeah, from Forbes. Wealth of the 1% reaches decade high in the U.S. Reaching a new record of 31.7% in the third quarter of 2025, the highest since records began in 1989. The 1% own more than the bottom, I think it's like 20% in this fucking nation. And this whole video, I've been trying to point out how these rich fucks have been ruining the lives of everyday Americans. You wonder why Luigi Mangione wasn't looked at in horror when he shot and killed the CEO of a healthcare company? Think about it. Y'all charge the fuck out of people. It's why many people are like, give me fucking national health care. where it isn't about making money, it's about actually helping you live a better life. Americans are fed up with that bullshit. That's just healthcare. Y'all have basically made guillotines popular again. You seem to revel in fucking over the average person, and you keep doing this, it's only going to end with a modern day storming of the Bastille movement in this nation. And you don't seem to care. And you will be the first kinds of people that they'll want to stick their neck in the hole of the guillotine. It's why I think there should be more rigorous punishments for greed and profit that hurts lives. I don't give a shit what the Supreme Clown Car has said. Oh, as long. No, fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. There needs to be more severe punishments for profit that destroys lives. Because when the people strike back, oh, you demand justice. I think I think Luigi Mangione earned justice. He had to go out and do it behind the barrel of a gun. And he got his justice. I'm not saying people should go out and start shooting billionaires, but it's real easy to fucking understand why they would do this. And on a side note, since they've been mentioned in here several times, APAC and all these pro-Zionist shitbag genocide cocksuckers that donate in these races, fuck off. You treasonous shitbags. You have no place in American politics and should be allowed nowhere fucking near. Fuck off. But yeah. I think we're going to hit a point where the wealthy aren't learning their lesson. The way it's going right now. But we'll go ahead and end this episode there. As always, educate thyself, think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. And it can't be a bunch of tinfoil hat wearing sources or a bunch of anecdotes slapped together like Jeff Bezos crying, taxing billionaires never works. Fuck you, Bezos. Fuck you. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, Later.